Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. So, I know it's been a while since I've actually talked to you all about stuff. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So today actually is going to be an impressions, and the impressions that we're going to do today are over a game called Tip of the Spear Task Force Elite. I almost forgot the full name of the game. So this game is being developed by Red Jake Studios. They're a pretty new studio, and in fact they're 100% new. I think this is their first game as a studio, from what I understand. Also, from what I understand, they are passionate about older first-person shooters, and you'll get that impression very clearly right off the bat that this game was made by people who have played stuff like Battlefield 2, even Bad Company. I think it's clear they've played stuff even modern, like Squad, like even to a certain degree Rainbow Six. A lot of those modern games, the old Modern Warfares, I get that distinct impression that these people have a real love for older tactical shooters rather than the newer ones. Not to say that that's bad in any way, but if you want to get a distinct impression of what this game is, I'm going to say that it's probably closely described as a close quarters Battlefield 2 mixed with CSGO. So CSGO is, I think it's very clear that CSGO influenced the combat system. The gunplay is very similar, in my opinion. It has that similar sort of, there's no sprint, there's two speeds like in CSGO. In CSGO, the regular run speed, and then shift is actually to slow your character down. This allows for a more tactical approach to turning around corners, peeking around corners. You can peek with Q and E. This game is for PC only at the moment, as it's being developed by a very small team from what I understand. And essentially the way you play the game is basically, the only mode that I'm aware of that they have right now is this King of the Hill mode that's actually really fun. I had a lot of fun playing the game, honestly. These early access indie games, I don't really play a lot of them, and most of the ones that I have played end up going to the wayside. And any of them that I have an interest in end up dying, it seems. They had a really closed alpha. They had like a really closed off alpha test, like a week and a half ago or something like that, and it was actually really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. There's some footage playing in the background. There was another alpha test that took place, but you couldn't even record that alpha, so I didn't. It looks like I timed it just right, but the game comes out in about 2 weeks. So I figured I'd give a little impressions and maybe sort of what to expect when this game launches in early access. From what I understand, and it's going to be it's not going to destroy your wallet, let's just put it that way. I'm not going to say the price because I don't know if that's allowed to happen, but basically, from what I know and what I heard in the closed beta was that, or the closed alpha, was that it's not going to break your bank. Just in case, it's not going to break your bank. Let's just put it that way. So, here's what I think of the game so far. It's fine. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's not Anthem. The servers were better than Anthem. They were having some server issues that caused the servers to crash a couple of times, but I was still having fun, and it seemed like everyone was really diligent to reconnect when the servers went down. So I think Red Jake has clearly done something right, because usually when servers go down, people just give up on the game. But everyone who was playing kind of stayed in, it felt like. From what I saw in the US, there were about what would I say, like 40 or Yeah, something like that, people playing. And in Europe, it was probably similar. I'd say they probably had a good 100 people playing total. This is a small game, and they have a small marketing budget, so I'm not expecting this to blow up to like PUBG levels, even though I don't know how much PUBG had in terms of its marketing, but it had a lot of marketing, so I doubt this game will reach that level, but you can't say for sure one way or the other. Like I said, I'd closely describe the game as CSGO meets Battlefield 2. Now, what does that entail? Well, first off, the game's graphics are incredibly lackluster, yes. You're looking at this gameplay, I mean, it looked halfway decent to me. I liked very certain lighting effects. Like, there was this map, I think it was called like Desert City or something like that. The map that we played on the most, ironically, was the one that was causing them the most server issues, so there's a nice irony there that we were playing on this map that was causing a lot of problems, but it was the one map that I had a lot of, ironically enough, again, it was also the map that I had a lot of problems with. And the biggest problem with the map that we were playing on is that it had this campy feel to it. There are these two sides of the map when you'll see it in the gameplay. On either side, there's this centralized town. It looks like it's located in some sort of Middle Eastern area, like in Iraq or something like that. Very clearly inspired by that sort of area. And on either side of this central city are two hills that you have to capture, and then there's one central objective. It's a well-designed map from like just a layout standpoint, but from like a gameplay standpoint, the game was very heavily, the map at least was very heavily tilted towards the people who capture A and B. Because once the enemies capture A and B, it's gonna be hard to get back up there because the areas leading up to either zone are very open in nature. They're just little dirt roads that lead up to each of the zones, and they're very campy, and if you're running up those roads, then it's about 99% guaranteed that you're probably gonna die. So I don't know, that map needs a lot more work, I think. I am not sure, I stated in their test that this map was having a lot of problems for me because of the campy nature of it, mixed with the kind of strange placement of the roads. Like, I feel like the roads either need to have more cover, or maybe the roads just don't need to be there at all, and the roads can just be leveled out and maybe some sort of like, I don't know, take like a ladder up to the points, or maybe if they do want to keep the roads, which I'm assuming they do, that it would probably be much easier to just put some cover while you're going up, you know, like I almost want to say like a Gears style of cover where there's a bunch of cover that you can just go in between and just cover yourself while you're going up there. Even maybe some like rocks or something like that, something that would fit the theme of the level. Maybe some rocks or something, some debris. All the maps are filled with a lot of debris, so I know they have some debris assets that they could easily probably bring into that map and give it a little bit more cover. Other than that, there was another map that we played on, another two maps actually that we played on. One of them was this airport, like military air base. I thought it was decent. It wasn't awful, but like it wasn't the best map. It definitely was better than the Desert City map. And I liked its layout. Actually, it looked like it could be something you find at like a military airbase or something. I thought it was very well designed. From a design standpoint, the game is very consistent in its aesthetic of trying to be this modern military shooter. It reminds me a lot of Squad. When I played it, that's exactly the first thing I thought of, was like, oh man, this is a lot like Squad, but without all the ridiculous intricacies that Squad has. As much love as I have for Squad, it was much easier for me to get into this game because it's an infantry-based game, and there's not all this other stuff. You're just walking around shooting people and taking points. It's not very difficult to understand, but the game does have an extremely short time to kill. I'll get into that in a second, but just to keep this video's structure very sound, I will talk about the final map that I at least played on. It was this city, just a massive city with like this open center. I don't know what it was called. I don't know. It was like I don't know what it would remind me of. It almost reminded me of a city in DayZ for some reason, but it definitely wasn't that. I would say it probably reminded me of the most of the opening mission from the original Modern Warfare. That general area, that city, it was a large, I think it was probably the biggest map we played on. And it was actually really good. I loved that city map. There were some nice corners. The points were well guarded and well covered. I feel like that's the stuff they should go for more often, because I loved that map. I had a great time on that map. Not to say I didn't have a good time on the airbase map, because I actually liked that one too. The desert city needs a lot of work. And that's the thing. It just needs work, and without giving it that work, I think that desert city probably shouldn't. They should probably either, if they have another map that's more close quarters, I think that desert city needs a little bit of work before it gets put into the game. Because the desert city, I don't think fits with the theme of the game of being this close quarters kind of turning corners, peeking around, slowing down, because essentially the desert map requires you to speed up a lot and to kind of flick around constantly, whereas the city map and the airbase map have a lot of cover, a lot of sniper positions. The desert city definitely has a lot of sniper positions, but that's about all it has. It's decent when you can actually get up to the points that you capture, but once you get up there, you're at such an advantage, and if you don't get up there, then you're at a disadvantage. Or if the enemy captures them and chooses to camp there, then I guess that's the enemy's choice, but it does feel like the design needs a little bit more work there. Now, I mentioned about the time to kill. It is very short, and by very short, I mean if you aim for the head, it's probably going to take you about half a second or so to kill the enemy. Whereas if you shoot him in the body, it'll probably be like 2 or almost 3 seconds, depending on the type of firefight you get into. But yeah, this game goes by the mantra of headshots are always a one-shot, basically. If you shoot in the head, you're guaranteed a kill within like half a second. And yeah, this game is very much based on like having quick firefights, and honestly, having those quick firefights, it kind of requires a large player base to keep the player interested. And I was playing really late at night, later, and obviously not very many people were on, but the game was actually we had this, what I think it was like a 10v10 mode, I think it was, but it was pretty fun. I mean, people were in there. There was a full 20 people in that match, which was really cool. And I enjoyed the King of the Hill mode for what it was. I had a couple good games. I was learning the game for the most part, but I think I could probably see myself getting this game. Only thing I can hope for is that they include more modes. This game is going into early access on December 18th. I'm not sure if they want to reveal the pricing yet, so I'll just say it's not going to break your bank. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was a fun experience, and it had that nice pacing that I enjoy, the quick time to kill and the purely infantry-based combat that I really like out of most stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed it overall. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving and everything. I'm going to be back for quote-unquote full-time content creation over winter break, which is a week from now. So, yeah. I don't know about next week, but this video is going to be coming out on a Friday, right on December 6th, which is the day you're watching it. So, but this video is going to be, I'm going to try to have a couple of other things over the weekend, but full content creation will resume next week and the following weeks after. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. I do recommend that you maybe check this one out. I'll put their Steam page in the description below. Peace out.